Is it possible for a phone to be incredibly thin and still deliver powerful performance without cutting corners on battery life? That's the question many people are asking about Samsung's upcoming Galaxy S25 Edge. Even though Samsung hasn't officially launched it yet, the phone has already appeared for pre-order in the UK through Argos, a major retailer. And with that early listing, we now have a clear picture of what this device is all about, even before Samsung's big reveal. The Galaxy S25 Edge has been making headlines for months, and now, the details from this pre-order listing have given us a solid idea of what users can expect. It features a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display with a resolution of 3120 by 1440 pixels. This means you'll get super clear visuals whether you're watching videos, browsing, or playing games. It runs on Android 15 with Samsung's latest One UI 7 on top and uses a powerful Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite processor made specifically for Galaxy devices. It comes with 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal storage, and a 512 GB version is also expected later. However, there's no mention of a 1 TB option at this stage. The most talked about part of this phone is its design. It measures just 5.8 millimeters thick and weighs only 162 grams, making it one of the slimmest phones around. But that doesn't mean it feels weak. Samsung has used a titanium frame for added durability, just like the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and paired it with Gorilla Glass ceramic too. This combo helps the phone resist scratches and minor drops, making it strong despite its thin shape. When it comes to cameras, the rear setup includes a 200-megapixel main sensor and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens. The front camera is also 12 megapixels. A 200-nanometer sensor sounds impressive and should produce highly detailed shots, but the phone only has 2 rear cameras. Many high-end smartphones now include 3 or even 4 lenses, offering options like optical zoom or depth effects. So the S25 Edge might feel a bit limited in that area for people who love photography. Another thing people are discussing is the battery. The Galaxy S25 Edge comes with a 3900 mAh battery. For a phone with such a high-resolution screen and a powerful chip, this may seem a little low. Battery life in real usage could be a concern, especially for those who spend a lot of time streaming, gaming, or multitasking. It does support fast charging, but only up to 25 watts. While that's okay, it's slower than what some other flagship phones offer, which can go up to 45 watts or more. The price is another thing. Worth noting. In the UK, the phone was listed at $1,099, which is around $1,262 if you convert it directly. But regional pricing varies, and experts believe the US price for the 256 GB version will be about $1,249. The 512 GB version could cost around $1,269. That puts the phone between the Galaxy S25 Plus and the Galaxy S25 Ultra, both in terms of specs and price. So, who exactly is this phone for? The Galaxy S25 Edge seems to be aimed at users who want a sleek, stylish phone with premium materials and a high-quality display, but without going all the way up to the Ultra model. It's powerful, good-looking, and lightweight, but it also makes a few compromises. The smaller battery, fewer cameras, and slower charging may be deal breakers for some. But for others, especially those who care more about design and screen quality, it might be the right pick. With the official launch just around the corner, it will be interesting to see how Samsung presents the S25 Edge and positions it within the Galaxy S25 lineup. Will it live up to the hype? Or will users prefer the Plus or Ultra versions instead? Would you trade battery life or camera features for a phone that's thinner and lighter? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for the latest tech updates.
Apple had a bold vision for the iPhone 17 Air, creating the first fully portless smartphone. However, those plans didn't go as expected. The company ultimately decided to abandon this approach, largely due to regulatory concerns, particularly in the European Union. This device, which was intended to replace the iPhone Plus, was originally meant to rely entirely on wireless charging and data transfer, eliminating the need for any physical ports. But after careful consideration, Apple chose to take a step back, mainly to avoid potential legal complications. The idea of a smartphone without ports has been a topic of discussion for years. Some users still miss the headphone jack, while others feel that if a company is going to remove ports, it should fully commit rather than forcing users to rely on additional accessories like adapters. According to Apple analyst Mark Gurman, the iPhone 17 Air was supposed to be a major move toward a future without ports. However, Apple changed course likely because of the challenges it could face in the European market. Regulations in the EU have already pushed Apple to make significant adjustments. The most notable example is the transition from the Lightning port to USB-C, a change Apple made to comply with European standards. Additionally, Apple had to open up its ecosystem to allow third-party app stores, something it had resisted for years. With strict regulations already affecting its business, Apple likely wanted to avoid the risk of launching a portless phone that could later be deemed non-compliant. Apart from dropping the portless concept, Apple also made changes to the phone size. The original plan was for the iPhone 17 Air to have a 6.9-inch display, but it has now been reduced to approximately 6.6 inches. This adjustment was reportedly made to prevent structural problems. Many still remember the bending issues with the iPhone 6 Plus, and Apple is taking precautions to ensure history doesn't repeat itself. Even with these changes, the iPhone 17 Air still brings notable improvements. One of the biggest enhancements is its battery. Reports suggest Apple is using a high-intensity battery, allowing the phone to maintain strong battery life despite its slimmer design. This means users won't have to sacrifice battery performance for a sleeker appearance. Performance-wise, the phone will be powered by the A19 chip. However, it won't feature the Pro version of this processor, as that will likely be reserved for the more expensive models in the lineup. Despite this, the A19 is expected to deliver impressive speed and efficiency. Another major update is Apple's in-house cellular modem, which should be more power efficient compared to previous versions. One of the more surprising choices Apple has made with this device is the camera setup. Leaks suggest the iPhone 17 Air will come with a single rear camera, much like the iPhone 16e. Many flagship smartphones feature multiple lenses for added versatility, so Apple's decision to go with just one lens might be seen as a step backward. Whether this will impact sales remains to be seen. Early renders of the device have already surfaced, showing a design that some say resembles the Google Pixel series. However, it still retains Apple's signature premium look and feel. The bigger question is whether users will be drawn to a thinner iPhone with fewer features, or if they'll opt for other models with more traditional designs. Although Apple has decided against a portless iPhone for now, that doesn't mean the idea is gone forever. As wireless charging technology continues to improve, Apple could revisit this concept in the future. For now, the iPhone 17 Air is shaping up to be an interesting addition to the lineup, even if it isn't as groundbreaking as initially expected. Would you prefer a completely portless iPhone, or do you think Apple made the right decision? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this update, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tech news. Apple's latest budget-friendly iPhone 16e may look familiar on the outside, but a recent teardown has uncovered some surprising internal upgrades that make it stand out. While the phone retains the design language of older iPhones, sharing similarities with the iPhone 14, its internal components reveal a different story. A closer look at the iPhone 16e's internal structure shows a layout that closely resembles the iPhone 15, but with a few key changes. One of the biggest differences is the camera system. Instead of the dual camera setup found on the iPhone 15, Apple has opted for a single 48-megapixel wide lens on the 16e. By removing the secondary lens, Apple has freed up additional space inside the device. This extra space has been put to good use as the teardown confirms the inclusion of a larger battery, a welcome improvement for those prioritizing battery life. Initially, leaks suggested the iPhone 16e would house a 3,961 mAh